Going on, everybody? It's your host, Wayne's World, and we are back with episode 10, Love versus Trust. Before we begin, I'd like to give a thank you for everyone who follows, listens to the podcast, give us their input. If you don't give us your input, but you're still listening, you're still very appreciated as well. We are also on YouTube at Talk Galore Radio / podcast. So can you give us a subscription there, If you haven't already done that, it'll help the channel grow. It'll help us bring more content to you. Now, I'd like to begin by starting with how I feel about love versus trust. In the sense as this is something I constantly tell some people you get in debates about when it comes to relationships and what is needed. My thing is, without trust, there's no love. That's just how I see it. You can't love somebody without trusting them at all. Because you have to gain the trust in order to tell yourself that you can love somebody. You can't love somebody first without gaining that trust first. Now, I can't speak on it if the trust is broken after they've gained your trust and you begin to love them. My thing is, trust is what a lot of people need before they can say I love you, or at least be loved. Don't get me wrong. Love is love. Can you trust that the other party loves you the same way, to the level of putting the care of your life in their hands? Like, I know how hard is it for people to trust, and the way the world is going now. A lot of times the world is going to shit. I'll be upfront. The world is really going to shit. But how people are now coming up, the new ways people are being taught how to move towards one another. Plenty of backstabbing going on because this one want that one want this one. This one's not committed to that person. This one's not really committed to this one. And a whole lot of trust can be broken. And the biggest trust of all that can be broken is always somebody that's right next to you. It's the actual closest one to you. It could be friends, it could be family, it can be a spouse. Imagine not having trust for no one growing up. Like, that is real damaging to grow up knowing you can't trust anybody because everybody in your life did you dirty, did you wrong. You tend to stay around people, but your trust has been broken by them one way or another. And that's hard to deal with. Now imagine going through all of that. And let's just say you meet the love of your life. Little by little, percentage by percentage, 1%, 2%, 4%, 6%, 10%. Your trust is getting higher and higher and higher for this person. Just to turn around. See, I'm not going to go that far yet. Your trust is getting higher. You start telling them secrets, things they didn't know about you, things no one knows but them. You begin to let yourself free around them. And let's just say this is the first person you trust in, let's just say, I'm not going to say all your life, but let's just say in the last 8-9 years, this is the one person you finally began to trust, and it showed you that you can trust them. Now, let's not say they didn't give you reasons to trust them, because sometimes a lot of listening ears and people that's so open sometimes might not be trustworthy. They could be trying to gain information about you and from you so they can find a way to use it and try to manipulate your trust. Once they know you trust them, they know the fact that you must love them also. And you don't have to love them as a spouse. Like I say, it can be a friend, it could be a family member. But when you trust somebody, you must love them in some kind of way to the point where you feel like they're really close to you. And to find out that that trust can be broken by someone you deeply cared about, to be upfront, that can fuck someone's life up. That can change their whole mental game to how they see anybody else that ever comes into their life. And that can make it harder on someone else who tries to come into their life who are actually genuine, who actually hold the trustworthy qualities that someone should have. Let me give you a few traits that should tell somebody that, okay, I can trust this person. This is man or woman. If you look at someone and you watch their consistency, they're always there, they're doing the same thing, they're not changing who they are, you can trust that this person is consistent in who they are. When you have a problem, any situation going on, you want to vent, just want to hear somebody give you good advice or whatever it is, something to uplift you, they'll show some compassion, some humility. If you want space sometimes, you don't want to be around them, you just want to be by yourself. They respect boundaries. These are people you can trust. They show respect. They'll do a favor for you, a bunch of favors, and won't never keep count. They don't expect you to do a damn thing for them because they did not do anything for something in return. They did it because they love you just as much as you love them. When you are around them, you are very relaxed. You're not uppity. You're not having a feeling in your gut about something, thinking something's up. You're not questioning, can you trust them or not? When it comes to time, these are very respectful people. This goes back to what I said in the beginning about having respect for boundaries. And they show gratitude when you do things for them. They show that it is appreciated. They're not going to let you, they're not going to let it go unnoticed that you did something for them. Now, if you gain the trust of someone, can you still have love without trust? I believe you can still love somebody without trusting them. But sometimes you have to love them from a distance because you can't afford to have more backstabbing done to you. If you trust somebody, if you're a female and you trust your man, let's just say he DJs at a strip club. Can you trust your man to go to work, do his job? This is something he met before you. This is something he was doing before he met you. I'm sorry, I misspoke. This is something he was doing before he met you. Can you trust him to still go to work, do his job, and not get involved with any female in a way that he should not? If you can do that, have no gut feeling about nothing, you have trust in him. And if he's very faithful to you and he sees that you're not having a problem with this, everything is going as sweet as it can be, he's not doing anything at all, he will know that you love and trust him And I'm pretty sure he should not. I'm not gonna say he would not, because we have some dumb mother effers. Let's just be real. We do have dumb motherfuckers out here who will still go and do some dumb shit and destroy someone's trust that they had for them. Goes for women too. Fellas, if you trust your woman to be around a bunch of men and not have to blink or think twice about her flirting or trying to be with anybody else, obviously you trust them just as much. There's love there as well. Because if you could trust someone through all that, you love them. But as I stated, we have dummies out here who are not thinking of a consequence of what they can do if they break someone's trust, because then they want to try so hard to rebuild it back. And that's the hardest thing I feel like anybody can do in life, is build back someone's trust that they broke, and especially to the degree that they broke it in. It's hard. It's doable, but it's very, very, very hard. So my thing is, if you want to rebuild some kind of trust, you have to really pay full attention to the person whose trust you broke. Because they can still love you, but how long you think they're going to be with you if they do not trust? And a lot of times, that's the downfall of a lot of relationships, when there's no trust. So once the trust goes, what else do you really have left but to love each other from a distance? Because as long as you stay together, it's going to turn to what I spoke about in the previous episode: toxic relationships. And everything begins to spiral down to a point where once the trust is broken and there was no repairing it, the parties should leave each other at that. You can still love someone. You can still hope that they do good in life. Nobody wants to wish bad on nobody, because I feel like people shouldn't do that. You have to have love and trust. They go hand in hand. But you can't have love unless you 100% trust someone. You can't have that intimate, deep love that you think you're going to have. So in a battle between love and trust, I'm sorry, but trust wins. Love will always lose. Because no matter how much love you have for someone, that 1% of trust compared to that 99% of love, that's a big 1%. So for any advice for anybody out there, if you gain the trust of someone, don't screw it up. Because that's a hard thing to get back. This your host, Wayne's World. That was episode 10, Love versus Hate. Those are my thoughts. Please feel free to comment. Give me your input. I'd like to hopefully get you on the podcast, do a quick Q&A with you about it, have a little discussion, and take it from there. If you want to hit us up, you can hit us up at email at galoretalk@gmail.com. You can DM us on Instagram at talk_galore. You can hit us up on Facebook at items galore. And you can hit us on YouTube in the comment section as well at Talk Galore Radio /podcast. As I said, give us a subscription. I hope the channel grow. We'll bring more and more content to you. We have other things we plan on doing as well with the channel and with the people who listen. So all we ask for is support. Help us grow. And we'll come back at you with an episode 11 very, very, very soon.